Hi and welcome to the Aaron Russos podcast. This one is part 8 of the Cancer Reverser. All right, so we're going along our path. We know now how to filter out all the noise from the world when we get cancer. Yeah, we get cancer and everybody wants to tell us what's going on. Now, each person, I've said, has their own disposition, but also there's a lot of other stuff going on in the cosmos that you have no idea about. And I'm talking about way out, right? Let's say you have 23 pairs of chromosomes at the moment, but just say everything in the universe goes in 12, 6s, 24s and stuff. If you're talking about base mathematics, I don't know if anyone knows about advanced mathematics. I mean, I think most people at school just want to get over and done with. When you look at algebra, you know why. At least I do the cool mathematics, the fun stuff that you can actually, do some cool stuff with. So the mathematics, basically, what we're doing is, could you imagine, how do I explain it? Can you imagine if the 24th pair of chromosomes were multidimensional? They were just something that needed to, say for instance, I always talk about consciousness being so low. That's why it's the best we've got and all the rest of it. What about, this is just a bit of a mind bender, that's all. True one at that. What about if the 24th pair of chromosomes was multidimensional? We had to activate it. So instead of saying, consciousness is low and what about if it's not so much about higher or lower consciousness? It's just a consciousness, it's inside us, but we're just awakening to it. So what about if the 24th chromosome, when we reach a certain stage of cycling, that is activated, and that is the chromosome that then allows our consciousness to do what it's always been able to do. And that's where we're heading. Okay, we're the only mammal on Earth that has 23 chromosomes, or the others have 24. And there's a reason for all this stuff. Anthropology. Read a book called The End of Variety. They talk about the remains, and scientists, anthropologists, have found 17 different types of humans walked the earth over 100,000 years ago. So like we have variety in monkeys and other mammals now, orangutans, gorilla, well, there was 17 different types of humans walking the earth at one stage. This is in books, in libraries that you can go and get. We have a magnetic grid on the earth that shifted a few times. It shifts all the time. Sometimes shifts up to 40 miles. So that means the landing coordinates on each runway on every airport around the world have to be changed. Why do you think mammals, whales, beach themselves? They're not into suicide. They were just going past and they went, this was water last year. My sat-nav isn't working. The shift magnetic grids of the earth, the Gaia grids, the crystalline grids. You don't know about any of these grids. You probably still think there's ghosts. There's no such thing as a ghost. We're part of a system that has perpetual motion, and even when we die, our spiritual timeline carries on, and we're transitioned within 3 days. No souls can get stuck here. No negative entities or whatever can do anything to you whatsoever. It's all a fallacy that's been made up in your mind. The grid stores energy. When you go past there to a place like Auschwitz, where there's been immense torture, trauma, and human anguish, it imprints in the grid. Same if it's a beautiful thing. If it's such a beautiful place and there was an uprising or there was a thing, all these grids update because we come in and out. We go back home over to the Vale. We get stuck onto the big blob of soul soup. We come back and the grids are there so that we can just pick up where we left off. We don't relearn things when we come here. Would you believe as well, another mind bender, down the track, things are going to cycle to a point where we're going to not have amnesia. When we reincarnate at the moment, we come in and we have amnesia. We're going to come in, we're going to remember the last life. These are all the things, mentally, I just want to say, to prepare you for the openness and for the healing and for the miracle that you're just about to receive. Crystals are molecular chalices. They hold light. Okay? You can demagnetize a crystal. You can charge a crystal to be receptive to your light. You can charge it, and then every time you fill it with light, elementals, masters fill it with light, guides fill it with light. The creator of the universe fills it with light, and it balances your own chakras, which are your crystals. That's why we're all attracted to crystals. That's why we use crystals in electrical work, because they hold light. They're a conductor. All of these things, just because you don't know them, doesn't mean they're known. Just because you don't know the way to cure your cancer, doesn't mean it's not known. Everything in the possible universe, according to physics, according to laws, is all known. So now you're at a junction where you know that there is always going to be a possibility of an incurable being cured. And guess what? You just found it. You must be so happy. You must be doing a little happy dance, dancing around there, because you found it. Cool, isn't it? That's my world. I don't have any these diseases. I don't have chance. I don't have shit. I did. I've gone to another level, and I've also done a lot of healing work, or shadow work they call it, internally, and this is why I'm one of the leading numerologists, is my ability to transmute negativeness and what you find on the other side of that. So if you think about all your fears, insecurities, wounds, and I've carried lots of them. I've had life lessons that have gone on for 50 years, even though I'm only 51. Anyway, so these insecurities, fears, lessons, if you know how to heal them, okay, sitting in the pain, transmit, if you know how to do it, it takes time. Everyone's processing times are different. It's not, everyone's different. We can't ever generalize anything. So just say you do that, and I've done that. I think it took you about 4 months to really get, and you've got to forgive people that have wronged you. You've got to forgive parents, family that you'll never get an apology from. You've got to do all these things yourself, because no one's going to fucking do it for you. And it's the same with healing. You're the fucking one who's going to heal yourself. Stop waiting for someone else. Stop believing everything you're spoon-fed, right? You are in charge of you. You can direct you. Okay? I've got a program on my website called Longer Life. Okay? Now, we know that in ancient times, human beings lived 900 years, even more. We've got a system designed for that, right? This is part of healing as well, right? When you realize all this sort of stuff. Now, but we've got laws, we've got reincarnation, we've got perpetual motion, and we've got things that govern it. So if you knew what governed, what was aging you in your DNA, what governed it, what governed the aging, what would kill you faster to make you spiritually grow, what governs that, if you knew what governs that, you could slow it or turn it off. Stress kills you faster, balance doesn't. Can you see where I'm going with this? We can live to 900. I'm sure, thanks to our marketing friends, we're not meant to be eating all this shit and being exposed and drinking and chemicals and all this stuff that's just throwing our whole beautiful systems out. The possibilities are limitless because we are limitless. limitless beings. You only have a disease. It's not going to determine who you are unless you let it. Unless you let it. And look, this is not even 1% of what I can tell you about discoveries, what the future holds for us. We're coming into the most exciting times of our life, but unfortunately, because it's been the same for all that time, no one can see anything better. You know what I mean? I'm going along expecting benevolent change every day and beautiful things to happen. No one else does, do they? So, mentally, the possibilities are limitless. And that's what I wanted to share in this little cancer reversing post, which is, aptly enough, it's the part 8, which is also the infinity symbol, which is also karmic, which is also magic, eternal, limitless. And that's exactly what you are. Good on ya! This is the Aaron Roussos podcast.